So, last part we entered into an alternate universe Dyson sphere to confront a Borg invasion at the behest of the Etherians. However, we found out that in this reality the Iconians had returned and formed an Iconian Alliance, taking in the vestiges of a Starfleet that in that universe was being overrun by control-usurped Borg. As an assimilated vessel closed in on our ground team, it was destroyed by an arriving USS Enterprise F of this universe, and its captain beamed down. Sela, a fully commissioned Starfleet officer from a universe where the control program persisted beyond the 23rd century. Things clearly have evolved differently here. Perhaps even this Sela was never raised in the Roman Star Empire. Well, there's no time to talk about it right now because we've got a mission to complete and Iconians to save.
This has been a day of surprises. The last time I saw you, your vessel was burning near the wormhole at the Battle of Bajor. How did you manage to survive?
What? Oh, right. Well, apparently I'm dead here at a Battle of Bajor. I assume against the Borg. Well, I'm not that Captain Hale. I'm Admiral Hale from, well, another dimension.
Ah, I see. That would explain a few things, such as the unusual looks you've been giving me since I arrived. I take it the Sela you know is different than the one standing before you now.
She has issues.
We'll have time to compare dimensions later. Right now, the World Heart needs protection. The Control Borg are doing everything in their power to steal it from the Iconians.
Sela actively protecting the Iconians, huh? And their World Heart at that. Well, Control and the Borg are not to be underestimated.
Sounds like you have some experience dealing with them. Good. We need every officer with that kind of experience we can get. Look, we've been fighting those Veruliers since the mid-23rd century, and we're losing. Badly. The Iconian Alliance is all that's left now. The rest of the galactic powers have been conquered and assimilated. If we go down, there'll be no one to stop them from assimilating the entire universe.
Wow, this reality's really been dealt a bad hand, hasn't it? Well, we're here to help.
Let's hope it's enough. Keeping the World Heart out of their hands is priority 1. Understood?
Oh, completely. The Borg can't have that kind of know-how.
Please return to me. I need your help badly.
This is Captain Sela. We're on our way, Matriarch. Damn! That's a lot of Borg.
We must dispatch these Borg quickly. The Matriarch needs our help.
We engage the Borg forces and Sela holds her own alongside her crew, which consists of an Andorian ensign Alif, a Saurian with the unfortunate name Lieutenant Gecko, a Vulcan named Tawil, and a Bajoran ensign Denis.
I will defend the entrance. Please assist the Matriarch inside.
Damn! The World Heart's been compromised! We're in trouble!
We can see black wisps spiraling around the World Heart's energies, we report to Lemira.
You've returned, and not a moment too soon. I do. The enemy is attempting to breach the World Heart's defenses once again. Help me stop them.
I'll do what I can from this console.
As before, we find a free console and set about repelling the intrusion. These Control Borg seem a lot more ready to go for cyber warfare than the other Borg we have met. Presumably that is Control's influence.
They are adapting. With each attempt, they get closer to overwhelming our defenses. Something must be done.
Okay, ideas?
Defender Taket is leading a counteroffensive nearby, but she has been injured in battle. If you are willing, I would have you reinforce her position and repulse the enemy forces there.
Taket? We're on our way.
If I know the Borg Queen, and I do, we're in for the fight of our lives. They're relentless, but they aren't invincible. We can still win this.
Borg Queen. Well, there goes Bex's idea of no centralized leader, which is good, because we can throw them into disarray by taking out the Queen.
The Iconians are powerful, but even they might fall to the Borg.
Which is still nuts to me. These Borg don't seem as overwhelming as, say, the Iconians did during our Iconian War, but perhaps these Iconians were not as aggressive and focused on warfare, having never lost their world heart to Sela. You know what, I'll put my full theoretical timeline towards the end of the video, as it's mostly speculative and we don't have all the pieces just yet. We defeat a small wave of Borg in our way and proceed down the city streets until a voice calls out to us.
Over here!
Turmoil topples the city around us, smoke in the air, and a collapsed structure lists against another. In the middle of a platform ahead we can see two hunched forms. One is the Iconian's Ken, a medic of their time, and the other is Taket, the more ruthless Iconian leader of our war.
They told us you were coming. I did not think you would make it. I apologize for doubting you, friends.
No problem, I can imagine good news is hard to come by. Is Taket able to travel? They look injured.
Not at the moment. Give me more time and I can get her back on her feet again. It will take more than the Borg can muster to kill Taket of Iconia.
Yes, I'm aware.
I sense more of the enemy approaching. Please protect us while I restore Taket to battle readiness. They are coming! Please protect us!
Alright, defending Taket.
Incoming! Be ready to remodulate your weapons!
The control-laced Borg beam down and immediately deploy a wave of tendrils to rush us. This is a long confrontation, but nothing compared to what comes later.
Enemy reinforcements have arrived.
You fight well. I am honored to meet you. I am Defender Taket.
To this day, Taket in our universe continues her attacks. I am Admiral Mark Hale.
I sense more enemy forces approaching the World Heart Chamber. Will you join me in battle?
That's the plan.
This pleases me. Come, let us dispatch these abominations at once.
Of course, the Iconians in our universe only looked as they do here back in their time, when they had the World Heart. Without it, they converted their forms into almost energy-like beings, but with a technology beyond what we can understand. The World Heart's return revitalized their technology and even biology in time, except for Taket, who rounded up some forces and continued to campaign against the Iconian ceasefire. Mirren says eventually Taket will cool off, give or take 1,000 years. So this Taket seems slightly less hostile, if only a bit, but they are after all the head of defense.
We'll cover this entrance.
I'd offer you a quick assimilation, but I know you refuse it. You know me too well. Mother. Still a lackey of the Federation, I see. Tragic. And you? You're the perfect Borg. All you do is take, loot and pillage, system after system. The Queen of Thieves. And your reign ends here. And yet, foolish daughter, I remain. Long live the Queen. It's not working. She's blocking our fire. Feel that? Gnawing at your very core. That's the realization of futility in resistance.
Do it! Now!
Not so futile after all, Mother. You delay the inevitable. Nothing more. Ultimately, struggle is pointless. Goodbye, daughter.
So that was Tasha Yar as the Control Borg Queen. When did that happen? What's more, the world heart has been destroyed by Sela. I mean, it was to prevent the Borg from seizing it, which the Queen appeared about to do. However, it parallels the relation between the Iconians and the Sela of our universe. Man, the Iconians are not going to be happy about this. Let's just regroup and come up with the next stage of action.
I had no choice. I couldn't allow the Borg to assimilate the world heart. Destruction was the only option.
I mean, I get it. Honestly, tactically, I think you're correct. But, let's just hope the Iconians see it that way.
The enemy was about to take the world heart. You were in the right, Captain. Though the loss is devastating, we will fight to our last breath to stop the Borg. So vows to Ket of Iconia.
Okay, I'm not as reassured by that as you might think. I've seen what Iconians without their guiding compass end up as. Still, we've got a job to do in the here and now.
There's still a Borg fleet to deal with. As long as that's the case, they can keep sending drones here until their victory is inevitable. We need to get back to our ships, now.
Yeah, about that. Tasha informs me that we can't use transporters. They're blocking us.
We'll have to evac by shuttle. I'll have Enterprise send one down to a suitable landing zone nearby.
Alright, send us the coordinates. Let's mosey.
There. That platform will make a good landing site for a shuttle.
The one she's indicating, however, is a long way away, behind ranks of new drones. So, there's only one option. We'll have to fight our way to it. We battle through one plinth and down to a second, which is bisected by some archways, and more drones await. Combating them takes a few minutes, but when it's clear we press on, up another ramp to a third plinth. This one with a bulbous bronze dome over it, and more drones try to halt our advance as we push through.
We're almost there. Head up that ramp.
Destroying them is a simple task, but looking around we can see the toll this conflict is taking. There must be continued battles elsewhere on the sphere, as dead heralds and Iconian forces litter the floor in places. This majestic structure is consumed by battle in more than one universe. Mounting the final platform, we find the indicated landing zone, and it's unnervingly quiet.
Set up a locator beacon ahead.
We make our way to the centre of it and do so.
Behind us!
And of course, putting down a marker to indicate our location means that the Borg home in on us. And oh my, that is a lot. The Control Borg attack en masse with the aim of destroying us entirely, preventing our departure. We need to hold out until the evac shuttle arrives, but with this many drones the shuttle cannot land safely anyway. So we aim to thin the numbers, always on the move, avoiding the grasping tendrils of nanites and backing away to remodulate when needed.
That beast seems stronger than the rest. Battle wisely.
From a gameplay perspective, this is a very difficult battle, considering the game heavily favours starship combat and ground builds are a little harder to optimise. Fortunately, you can get infinite respawns, so no game overs here, but it can be easy to become trapped in a cycle of spawning and dying to the sheer volume of foes and how close they get. One larger mass of nanites emerges from the crowd and begins to inflict substantial damage on us. It's slow moving, but it has quite the range on it.
The shuttle's almost here!
At one point, my E189 Sealers and the Iconians are so spread apart that the tendrils become easier to deal with as they make their way between the clusters of opposition. Eventually, we're able to subdue it.
We're in business. The shuttle will be here momentarily. Are you ready to go?
Oh, most definitely.
Look! The battles! They're merging!
Oh no! A monument to all our sins!
Elements, preserve us!
Run! Get to the shuttle!
Aren't you coming?
That thing will tear the shuttle apart if someone doesn't keep it busy. That task falls to me. You know I'm right.
Right. Good luck.
Through harmony, we are secure. Through unity, we are strong.
Bex's sacrifice destroyed that monstrosity, yet the Queen remains for us to deal with. She has retreated to a Borg octahedron, a queenship as they are known to us. Joining us in orbit is the Unity and 2 ships native to this universe, the Pathfinder-class USS Cryptic and the USS Enterprise F. As we can see from its appearance, next to the Armiger, the Enterprise here is the original Odyssey-class design, whereas the Armiger received a Yorktown subclass overhaul in 2411. The subclass emerged after the Iconian War, in the Enterprise's refit program after the damage it sustained. With that war unfolding differently here, it looks like the Odyssey was never upgraded from its 2380s configuration.
Destruction of the World Heart was a setback, but the minds who created it live on. With their assimilation, all that they know, we shall know. I shall know.
Interesting, despite Control's differences, this Yar seems very individual. Still, the arrogance of a queen.
Is it arrogance when speaking from a superior position? I think not. Allow me to educate you on one of the more basic principles of warfare. Trust me, it will be a brief, yet painful lesson to learn. The last lesson you'll learn, in fact, before your assimilation.
An aptitude for combat, eh? More similarities.
This ends today, once and for all.
As we enter combat range, we separate the saucer section to give us more efficiency, divert power to weapons, and we move into battle. Well, there go our shields. We managed to take out one probe, but the sphere is hitting us hard, so we have to disengage or risk pulling the entire fleet over. While the probes are pretty easy to dispatch with a full-on volley of everything we have, we can take them out in 3 seconds, the spheres are more of an even match, and it takes us longer to whittle them down.
Ah, Sela, defiant to the sun. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's unnerving how close to the dimensional rift they're getting. We can't let any Borg through. We've seen how the Control nanites just swarm. They could spread their infection in our universe. There are 2 massive assimilator ships here, and we focus all our fire along with our allies on one of them, taking it out rather quickly. Fortunately, its detonation then damages the nearby enemy vessels, so we push our advantage. And there goes the second one, caught in the blast of the first. We take out the remaining sphere in this wing of the Borg Armada and then reattach the saucer so we have all our systems together before the final confrontation.
Kind of you to provide me with more to assimilate. Your ships will bolster my fleet. Your crew, my drone. You haven't won yet, Mother. I've won harder battles than this. You're going to need a bigger fleet than that, daughter. Did someone call for reinforcements? We're here to help. My reservation is down. What?
Cromartie's come through to fight the Borg with us? She must have been monitoring from the other side. Not exactly the plan, but I'll take it. At least she's not letting her issues dissuade her from helping. Soon, we have whittled the enemy forces down to just a few ships, and even those fall to our combined fire. Eventually, only the Queen remains.
Goodbye, Mother. May you find peace at last.
And with that, silence falls.
It's over. For now, at least. The loss of their queen will slow them down for a while, but they'll be back.
Well, at least it's bought you time. Similar thing happens to our Borg. Let us know if you do need any more help.
We'll be waiting for any help you can provide. Until then, we'll keep up the good fight. The Iconian Alliance
isn't finished yet.
Iconian Alliance. Strange. Okay, well, good luck to you, Captain.
There was a time when Iconia had no world heart, where we relied on our own hearts, hands, and minds. Perhaps the universe intends for us to return to such a way of life. Perhaps we shall find hope for the future, even on a dark day such as this.
Limiran was the overseer of the World Heart, the core of their culture's technology, biology, and running everything they had through it. Without it, they turned hostile in our universe, in their paranoid isolation, but maybe not here. Maybe here they can have a brighter future.
I look forward to that bright future, one without the threat of the Borg in it. Until that day, may your travels be safe and prosperous.
Well, farewell for now then, Matriarch.
Giving the order to cross through the gateway was a challenge, but I could not stand idly by while others were risking their lives to defeat the Borg.
Cromartie's nature winning out there. Thank you, Admiral. Always glad to have you on our side.
Thank you. I am going to take Captain Dax up on her offer. I think it's time to face my demons head on, so to speak. For now, however, I believe we should return to our universe and update our superiors on the events of the day.
Agreed. See you on the other side. Cromartie is going to talk, either to Dax or someone else qualified, to get past the stress of seeing one of her closest friends turned into a monster in front of her. We took time off too, and some therapeutic dismantling of Borg, but it's gratifying to hear that she's going to not just bury this weight. As for these Iconians in this universe, well, here's my theory. So, in our universe, Sela took the World Heart from the Iconians in the past after attacking them during their flight from their homeworld. This was in retaliation for the Iconians' destruction of Hobus, causing the loss of Romulus, which in turn ensued that the Iconians lost their way entirely and vowed revenge on Romulus. Paradox. In this universe, it looks like Sela was raised within Starfleet by Tasha Yar and a Romulan parent, hopefully a more comfortable relationship than our Yar's fate. This may have led Sela to never become involved in the paradoxical events that triggered the Iconian War in the first place. These Iconians retained their world heart, meaning that the Iconians never turned to open warfare against us, but still employed long-term goals to return and resume control of the Milky Way, as evidenced by the existence of the spheres. They manipulated species into creating the Dyson spheres as before and operated from behind the scenes. However, during the 23rd century, the Control AI learned how to gain true evolution from the USS Discovery and its sphere data, but was thwarted, as in our timeline. However, that control persisted and fled to the Delta Quadrant where it made contact with the Borg. I expect they attempted to assimilate it and instead merged. Since then, the Control Borg returned to the Alpha and Beta Quadrants, taking on the Romulans, Klingon Empire, taking out the Dominion, and eventually the Federation too. The time frame here is elusive. During all of this though, the Iconians returned but found the Borg to be a greater threat than anything else, and unified the remaining powers in opposition to the Borg under an alliance. During one climactic battle, Tasha Yar was lost and assimilated, presumably around 44 years ago considering her look as the Borg Queen and the age of this Sela. So, with that universe's multiversal threat settled, we report back to Thacine Fay.
The loss of Grendat Bex, while tragic, was not in vain. His sacrifice, along with your efforts, will keep the Borg of that universe from achieving total supremacy. The battle for the Iconian Alliance is not over yet. Now that we know more about the conflict, we can send reinforcements to assist our allies in their struggle against their terrible enemy. A battle we once thought to be over may be just beginning. We must increase our efforts to thwart the Borg wherever they may strike. Through harmony, we are secure. Through unity, we are strong.
I still wonder at the origin of the Etherians. Their pursuit of harmony...
It is good to see you.
Leave me alone, Devak. Their pursuit of harmony and unity seems very Federation, but does it have an origin elsewhere? Do they have a parallel in our universe too? We restore the gateway to its original function and test it, travelling to our Dyson sphere to make some minor repairs. All in all, The control Borg seemed less powerful in some areas, but just as adept in others, and their cyber warfare seemed to exceed even our Borgs. There were more of them, their nanite clouds made them harder to combat in melee quarters, but their ships were not as formidable as the Borg kingdoms. It's strange to be battling Borg in a myriad of forms, and I wonder how long we'll be at this. With infinite universes out there will be continual threats, surely. The Etherians have made it their goal to halt them wherever they surface, but is that to be the fate of the Federation? I hope not. This story is yet to be concluded, but for now, we're waiting for the next part of the adventure. So, until then, thanks for watching. I've been Rick, and I'll see you out there. Goodbye.